My beautiful soul tribe, I love you guys so much. Sorry. I almost deleted that. I'm not going to delete it. I shouldn't have apologized, but I just wanted to say thank you after yesterday's reading because this morning I struggle with, I commented on somebody who was talking about how they just, recently found out they were dyslexic and that's why they always struggled. Me too. So I don't, sometimes my comment section can be a very scary place for me because I get really overwhelmed with like lots of text. Plus, for a while, when I went into my comment section, I was running into a lot of negative comments, which, I feel, I was about to say, I feel confident saying this, but clearly I don't feel totally confident yet. I am in, a place where I realize that, being online, I'm going to get negative comments and, they used to really bother me. But, there are times where if I see an overwhelming amount of negative comments about like love readings or even just believing in tarot or healing, I'm sure you guys know the comments. Like you're in my comment section. I'm sure you've seen the comments. Sometimes those comments can really get into my head when I'm doing these love readings. So sometimes, I purposely don't look at the comment section because I find that it can affect my ego and my channeling. Anyway, you guys, this morning I went onto that soul tribe reading and I'm still learning how technology works. I suck with technology. Anytime I need to do anything with my television, I just hand the remote to my son and I'm like, help me. Like even I was talking, again, soul tribe reading, pointless information. I have like an electric toothbrush that comes with an app. And like most people are like, oh my gosh, it has an app. Like there's an app for everything. And I am an old soul who clearly is not from this world, and I would prefer not to use an app to brush my teeth. Anyway, so I did figure out this morning how to go in and just look at the Soul Tribe comments, and there was over 100 comments from you guys on that Soul Tribe reading. And it moved me. Your comments move me. Your support moves me. I honestly feel so blessed to have my soul tribe and to have this space. And even though sometimes it feels like I come on here and I'm just like talking about nothing, I know that that's not true. And I just couldn't do this without that support. I've struggled to, I don't have a lot of family support in my life. So the fact that I have this overwhelming sense of support from all of you just means so much to me. And after reading those comments, I was like, I'm going to do another soul tribe reading today. Like I couldn't help myself. Anyway, I'm like awkward, but I just wanted to again thank you for all of that love. I spent, a good 45 minutes in that comment section this morning reading those comments, crying, like not sadness, happy tears, happy tears. I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And now we're going to get into this reading. So yeah, I wanted to come on and do a reading and spend some more time with you. I don't know how long this reading is going to be. And whenever I say that, I know that it turns out to be at least 40 minutes. I'm just getting the deck that I grabbed for you. So after reading those comments, I felt called today to read a chapter from that book. So maybe I'll look and see what chapter that is. I'm so unprepared. Yeah, I'm not prepared. So this is how you will know if you're actually on the wrong path in life. And it's not long at all. It's not long at all. So we'll end with that. But I was feeling called to get, like, my guides, my intuition were saying healing, healing, healing. So I had a look at all my decks, and there was two that I was contemplating. This one won the internal battle or whatever. And it's Healing Heart Oracle, Love Letters to Your Soul. And I have read from this deck before, but I felt called to come on and get it for you guys today. So I thought we could spend a little time talking about healing like we always do, but healing's the bomb. I don't know why I said that. So what I'm going to do is I'll shuffle, and then I will cut the deck. This is actually my second copy of this deck because my sister was going through a hard time, and she doesn't listen to tarot, and she doesn't believe in tarot and all of that. But she was going through a tough time, so I actually intuitively felt called to give her this deck while she was visiting me a few months ago. So I have since replaced it, but I love this deck if you're looking for comfort on your healing journey. I just find it, I love this deck. Healing Heart Oracle, Love Letters to Your Soul. Do you guys watch movies? Do you know who Julia Stiles is? Doesn't that look like Julia Stiles from Save the Last Dance? Doesn't it? Anyway. So because I showed you that card, I feel called to read it. Grieving Heart. Dear Grieving Heart, I'll show it to you. Dear Grieving Heart, I know that you feel disoriented and confused. Losing those we love and are close to is always difficult, and you may be experiencing fear, hurt, and apprehension about the future. Your sense of self may have diminished as you have had thoughts such as, I don't know who I am, and I no longer know what I love, what I care about, or what makes me sing. You might feel numb or anxious and not want to participate in everyday life. I'm hearing depression. Dear heart, it is important that you give yourself time to mourn your loss and heal. You must also gain the wisdom that this difficult experience has brought you. Embracing the opportunity to become more independent, shrewd, and clear can be uncomfortable, but it can offer you incredible growth and self-confidence. Take some time to reflect on what you truly lost. Is it love, friendship, understanding, help, or care? Reflect on how this loss can open doors to something new. And I don't know why I'm feeling called to mention this, but for some reason, when I was reading that very last paragraph, I was thinking about how I was talking to my friend Michelle about, like, my relationship with my parents, and, I spent so much time grieving the loss of the relationship with my parents, and I learned something valuable in therapy because I was really grieving the fact that I felt like I didn't have a mother and I didn't have that mother's support. And I was a photographer at the time, and I would be doing these family shoots where I would always do pictures of the mom with the kids alone. And I would also do like extended family sessions. So people would bring their parents, like families would bring the grandparents for photos. And I felt I was being triggered anytime I saw someone, with their mother or embracing their mother or having a good relationship with their mother. And it was really, ripping at that wound I had. And I was feeling envious. And in therapy, I was crying about my mother to my therapist. And I was saying, she said something to me that changed the way I looked at the situation. She said something that changed the way I looked at the situation, which was, are you missing your mother? Are you grieving your mother? Or are you grieving the idea of a mother? And that was just like that was a huge moment for me, because I realized I was grieving the idea of a mother. And then, I make it sound like it all happened overnight. I learned how to channel that energy into reinforcing and improving my connection with my own children, and making sure that mother energy that I was longing for in my life, I was providing for my kids. Does that make sense? And I found that really beneficial on my own healing journey. Anyway, for some reason I wanted to mention that. It was something at the end about reflect on what you've actually lost. But anyway, let's cut the deck and see what you need to hear. So we have deep heart, believe in divine destiny, and it's number 9. So 9 is about, for me, 9s are about, well, 9s mean a lot to me. But one thing that always comes to mind with the number 9 is like the hermit and self-reflection, knowing yourself and ascending into your higher self, stepping onto your destined path. So anyway, we have deep heart, believe in divine destiny. I don't think I've ever gotten this card. And I just have to point out the cool synchronicity because it's on page 28 and 29, which equals 10 and 11. Dear heart, at times you feel so alone as you don't think you can find the people who can truly see, hear, and understand you. This can cause you despair and shut down or put on a mask so that you feel that you belong. Hello, my whole life. You are sensitive and intuitive, yet people can see you as hardened. There's so much you want to share with others, but you simply don't know where to turn or who to pour your heart out to. I want to reassure you that if you choose to trust and allow some vulnerability, you will find those who truly appreciate you for all that you are. The time has come to make a choice to fully get to know yourself. Hermit energy, deep soul reflection, working on yourself. Where was I? And believe in your divine destiny. You can lament about, if I'm pronouncing that right, about the past all you like and get stuck in a rut, or you can dare to dream and follow your soul's calling and move forward with confidence. I am ready to embrace you for all that you are. That's beautiful. That's very much beautiful. And somebody said to me, how do you know what your gift is? And that's a really tricky one for me because I struggled with that one. And this morning I was staring at my affirmation wall and there was an affirmation that I wanted to mention to you about that. So just hang on, I need to go look. So, because of the way my brain works, I've already forgotten what it is by the time I got across the room. But it was something about my genuine, oh no, I remembered it. My genuine desire to serve helps align me with my soul purpose. So, following that desire to serve, that desire to help people, and start exploring how you can do that, which is kind of what I did, will help you align with your purpose, will put you on the right path, is what I'm hearing. Anyway, maybe I should read, that was on page 28. I just want to read the heart healing thing because I was talking yesterday about how easy these visualizations, Sometimes visualizing for people doing this energy work, visualizing can be hard. But it also is an incredibly rewarding thing to do. So I am going to read you the heart healing. Place your hands on your heart and feel its depth. Tune into what your heart needs to grow, evolve, and feel fuller. Imagine offering this to your heart. How does it feel? Visualize yourself exploring a deeper connection with your heart and soul and taking steps towards living the type of life that makes your inner life and your heart blossom. So let's get into this. So let's see what my soul tribe needs to hear. We have hopeful heart. Grieving heart came out. I think that's magic because I already read it to you. So maybe after a time of transition, an ending, that's card 13. It says an exciting surprise is coming your way. Hopeful heart, 27. So let's read that one. "27. Dear heart, your journey towards healing, trust, and openness has been an arduous one. It is important you don't lose hope and that you keep taking courageous steps forward and learning more about yourself in various life situations. No matter what you might be feeling at the moment, there is an exciting surprise coming your way. It is something you have been requesting for a long time, so keep your inner door open and take some risks, as this has a high likelihood of turning out very fruitfully for you. However, you must meet your fear of loss and transform it into an openness to receive what you desire. It is time to start to value yourself and develop self-love. Remember, you have been through a lot and have learned a great deal, so you deserve all the joy and happiness that is coming your way." And this is making me think of something else that I was thinking about. When I was looking at your comments today, I realized that because of the way that I grew up, I struggle with receiving love. And I think that's part of why sometimes I avoid my comment section. And it was actually really hard for me to sit there, and I realized it was difficult for me to read all those loving comments because I'm still learning myself how to receive love. Like, I am great at giving love, but to receive it, I struggle with that. Anyway, so there is an energy with this card about fear of loss and maybe, struggling to receive. So I wanted to mention it. Oh, the book is upside down again. So, heart healing. The time has come to allow yourself to dream again. Record in your journal any dreams or heart desires you have. Read over them. Read over each of them. Do you see what my brain does? Read over each turned into reach. Read over each of them and ask, is there anything that I am afraid of that stops me from moving forward? If there is, take slow, deep breaths in and out and ask what would happen if you could face this fear. Allow an answer to arise. Make a decision to start living your life fully and take some risks in the area of life and love. All right, so let's get another one since we already read Grieving Heart. We already read it. You cannot tell me that doesn't look like Julia Stiles. Like, look at that. We have Resilient Heart. It's time to rebuild. Lots of cards, lots of interesting cards coming out. So 12, it's time to rebuild. So I'm actually going to just start the next one. Dear heart, today I ask you to forgive me for all the times I didn't listen to you. I know that by ignoring your counsel, I put you through heartbreak, pain, distress, confusion, and suffering. There have been moments when you felt shattered, and instead of supporting you, I neglected you and tried everything I could to distract and distance myself from your pain. I know that you have felt incredibly lonely at times and rejected and unwanted. You have often wondered what is wrong with you, why you are so different, and whether anyone will ever see you for all that you are. Yet through all the isolation, hurt, betrayal, and abandonment, you still had faith that I would come back to you and that we would rebuild a healthy connection, a connection that is based on self-love, inner security, acceptance, nourishment, and care. I thank you deeply for being so strong and patient and available to lead me towards experiencing profound love and destiny as well as emotional and spiritual growth. I am now willing to heed your wisdom and embrace your intuitive guidance. So this is, love letters to your soul. This is, about you. It's supposed to be about you. But I have to mention, this has not been the first time I've drawn this card. And whenever I receive this card, I always feel someone else's energy behind it, other than just you. So this could be someone that the energy that I'm picking up on could be someone you're connected to. It could be, I have to mention it. It feels very counterparty. Again, I don't want to make this about anybody else but you, but there's something about this card, the energy of this card, and that message, that it feels like it's a message from someone, someone's higher self. I even, I hear that card and I think of my mother as well. But anyway, you take it as it resonates. You take the message how you want. But when I was hearing someone's words behind that that's not just for you, about you neglecting your own heart. You could have been, you could have felt neglected by someone. Anyway, I'm going to read the healing. Rub your hands together and then put them slightly apart. Imagine a warm, sunlit yellow energy coming out of the palms of your hands, and focus on sending appreciation, recognition, and gratitude for all that you and your heart have been through. Place your hand on your heart and breathe the warm yellow light into the depth of your heart. If you had loving words to say to your heart, what would they be? My cat's very vocal right now. Yes, Wally. Say them to yourself or out loud. Give yourself permission to connect with, ask questions of, and be guided by the wisdom of your heart in all aspects of life. So let's get another one. We have fearful heart. Listen to this. Fearful heart, it's time to shine. For all my people who are afraid to shine their light, it's time to shine. I love that. And it's number 8. So, having the strength and courage to shine your light. I love it. Dear heart, I know you feel small and afraid. You have suffered the consequences of being belittled and hurt, which has made you want to hide and become invisible to others. You have given more attention to why something may not work as opposed to why it could. You have experienced heartbreak and heartache many a time. I feel you. You are tired, lonely, and self-protective. It has been easy for you to sabotage everything from intimate connections to great career opportunities. I am ready to embrace you and allow you to grow so that you can start to recognize your true worth and power. Fear has made you see only one side of the story. It is time to explore your journey from a place of courage and strength, and it is time for you to shine, my sweet, fragile heart. Imagine what a fearful heart would look like. It would be dark. Would it be dark, small, and gooey? Visualize holding it in the palm of your hand. With the other hand, caress this anxious heart while encouraging it to strengthen and become courageous. Truly see how this aspect has suffered and lovingly embrace it. Energetically place it back into your heart and make a decision to do something courageous within the next 72 hours and then take action. I don't know why I just started thinking about the song Wear Sunscreen. Is that what it's called? Sunscreen? I don't know what it's called. I just remember when it came out, I was like, a lot of the things this person is saying makes total sense. And one line that I always remembered from that is, do one thing every day that scares you. Anyway. Do we want to get one more? I'm actually going to grab that other deck I was contemplating using. So I grabbed the Healing Spirits, was the other one I was contemplating using, and I guess we're going to use it. Interesting. That card that we just read, what page was that on? Was it on? No, it wasn't. Anyway, I'm seeing mirroring numbers 34, 43 could be symbolic. So on the bottom of the deck, I feel like I need to read this because it says, this is the perfect time. And that other one was, it's time to shine. So let's see what this message for you is. It's card 43. Love you. This is the perfect time. Life is a series of ups and downs until something pulls you to a point where you know that it is changing and expanding. It is a special moment when things are falling into place and the stars are in complete alignment. Now is that moment for you. It isn't a time for reflection and consideration, but for being bold and walking forward and accepting your destiny. And remember, we had the destined, meet your destiny card. You have arrived at the right place at the right time to shine. Special moments are rare in any life, so never let one pass you by. Grab it with both hands. So let's give it a shuffle. How's the weather where you are? It's very gloomy here. I did a reading where, like, it was gloomy all day, and then I did the reading, and the sun came out during that reading, and then as soon as I was done that reading, the sun went away. So so let's cut the deck. These aren't long messages. Success isn't what you have, it's what you do with it. But anyway, let's get you a card. If that one wants to come out, it'll come out. We have, it isn't about being right, it's about doing the right thing. Heal the past and fix tomorrow. So you have two cards coming out right away. 36 and 8. So 8 came out a couple times. You are your purpose. I'm going to have to read that one. I just want to read them all to you. This is not good. Courage arrives when you step over fear. We had fearful heart. I'm taking this card. I'm not going to look at what's underneath it. There. I have to cut myself off. I have no self-control. So let's start at the beginning. Heal the past and fix tomorrow. I believe in that. Let's start a new one. It is never helpful to carry painful memories through your entire life, so spirit healers and helpers are guiding you to the moment when it will be right for you to sit in the quiet of your own mind and invite them to help you. You must use this connection to conquer your past hurts and go forward and reach your full potential. I pour heartfuls of my joy into peaceful, thirsty souls. That was the affirmation that just popped down. I'm getting a kick out of the affirmations that pop down during my readings. Anyway. The spirit healers and helpers will let you know when the right moment is to cut ties to the past and let go and grow. And we have, it isn't about being right, it's about doing the right thing. 36. Sometimes it's better to stay silent than let others see that you have all the answers. There are times when you need to pause for consideration rather than act on the sake of it or because it is expected of you. The truly wise spirit masters know when to speak and when to listen, when to act and not act. They are our greatest examples of how to behave in moments of uncertainty. Remember that wisdom comes from experience, not brashness, and being spiritual sometimes just means being. When dealing with people who are awkward, simply remember to be kind, as kindness is above right or wrong. Interesting. And we have you are your purpose. You are here to learn about yourself, and learning about yourself will bring reasons to search for more. Remember, you will find nothing if you do not seek. A wise spirit sage is telling you that you have all the answers you require thus far are... Let me start that again. A wise spirit sage is telling you that all the answers you require thus far are indeed in you. So now is the time to look within. It is only by learning how to go to the deeper parts of your own spirit that you will learn to allow your true spiritual nature to shine in this world. When you learn how to do that, you won't need to look for your true purpose anymore. You will be your purpose and a bearer of light on the path. Interesting, because it's making me think of that affirmation that's on my wall that I mentioned to you that I can't remember now. Something about desire to... Nope, it's gone. Again, I'm like Dory sometimes. When I first saw Finding Nemo, somebody said that they cried during that movie. Like, yeah, I've spent most of that movie bawling. In fact, to this day, as soon as I turn it on and I hear that do, that like Finding Nemo music, I start crying. When I was in Florida, I went to the rehab, like at Epcot, I think, at Finding Nemo, they have a rehabilitation aquarium, and they're playing the Finding Nemo music in there. And as soon as I walked in there, I just started crying. I was actually, also very aware, like I didn't know that it was a rehabilitation, however you say that word. So at first I was very, I was also feeling emotional because of the animals that were, in these tanks. But then I went and looked, and they're all whatever. I don't know. Anyway. Courage arrives when you step over fear. My point about Finding Nemo, did I have a point? That I cried during it. But that I related so much to Dory. Like the first time I watched Finding Nemo, I laughed so hard at Dory. I laughed so hard because I felt her, like they'd be talking about something 1 second and then he'd be like, so how do you feel about that? And she'd be like, how do I feel about what? That's, I relate to that. Anyway. Courage arrives when you step over fear. There is a fine line between cowardice and courage, and one step backwards or forwards can make a huge difference. The ascended masters in the higher spirit realms were courageous in their earthly lives, and they stood up for what they believed, no matter the consequences. When you truly believe in a cause, it's right to fight for it, and the real fight can never be lost or won. It can only be experienced. To fight for what is right is its own victory. You know inside that this is not a struggle, but another lesson, one that will allow you to experience another aspect of your nature. So walk tall and move forward. I love that. Was that it? Yes, that's it. So I'm going to stop there. And then we'll read from that book. Because I'm very excited to say, we finished the book! Not that I'm like in a rush to finish it. I do want to read her other book to you that I haven't been able to read it by myself, so I thought I would read it with you guys, and it's called The Mountain Is You, and I feel like there's going to be some really good stuff in that one, and again, probably some stuff that I disagree with, but I want to be like, look how close we are to being done this book, and I just feel like, I don't know, maybe you don't feel the same, but I feel like it'll be an accomplishment for us once we're done this book. So, This is how you'll actually know if you're on the wrong path in life. Sometimes it isn't always clear that we are on the wrong path in life until we are too far down it to easily turn around. I was just going to say, some of us know we're on the wrong path, and like, I'm talking about myself here. And we just keep walking down that wrong path because at least we know that path, right? Sometimes it may feel, I'm hearing, it's weird. I'm getting like a weird vision of a card in this deck. Interesting. Anyway, sometimes, you know, and even this book has talked about it, it can be easier to stay in a bad situation. Like we'll just use like work as an example. Like sometimes you know you're not happy in your job, but you stay there because it pays the bills, you know? So let me just start this again and not interrupt myself. We have all had experiences like this at least once before. We spent years engaging in self-damaging behaviors. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic, so yeah. And I knew what I was doing. Like for a while I was in denial, but then I was very aware that I had a problem and I just kept drinking. We spent years engaging in self-damaging behaviors only to wake up one day and finally see what we were doing to ourselves. We dug ourselves into deep debt mindlessly only to pay the consequences later. We spent years in a relationship that had an expiration date, and we were sidelined to discover we had invested so much of our lives into something that was only ever temporary. Once we have an experience like this, it's easy to want to spend the rest of your life worrying that it may happen again, that you might wake up one day and find that one mistake after the next. Let me read that again. That you might wake up one day to find that one mistake after the next leads you to a place you didn't want to be. You imagine that hypervigilance will take care of this, that if you think it through enough and second guess yourself often enough, maybe you'll be able to avoid the heartbreak, except you won't. The absolute honest truth is that when you are actually on the wrong path in life, you know the entire time. When you finally have no choice but to come to terms with it, then you have the epiphany. The honest truth is that if you are on the wrong path, you already know. You knew what you were doing when you were engaging in self-destructive behaviors. There was no point in time at which you fooled yourself into thinking what you were doing was healthy or okay. You knew what you were doing when you were getting into debt. You just had enough mental ammunition to keep justifying it and convincing yourself that it was the right thing to do. You knew that your relationship was going to end because you knew that it wasn't that good all along. No good relationship ends in the first place. Why would it? We never leave people we truly love and value and care for. Relationships that end are relationships that need to end. And if we're honest with ourselves, the signs were there all along. I'm not gonna rant, but there's like, I don't want to rant. There's a little bit of that paragraph that I would just change a little. Just because of what I do and the fact that I do so many love readings about soul contracts, and there can be, you know, such a thing as a version of a relationship ending. It doesn't mean that you'll never experience that relationship again, but that the version that exists is no longer in alignment with you, is no longer working. Does that make sense? Anyway, I know I've got counterparts watching, and I don't want you to get into your ego or feel like you're delusional or anything. So the point is that you don't ever lose your moral compass. You just talk yourself out of it at times in order to serve yourself best. Your innate understanding of right and wrong never really goes away. It just gets clouded by fear, by attachment, by the idea that what's in front of you is the best that you may ever have. Your acknowledgement that self-destructive behaviors are bad for you is clouded by the fact that they bring you comfort, which you convince yourself which you convince yourself means it is somehow justified. Your understanding that you were getting into more debt than you can handle was covered by a bigger fear, which was whatever you believed you had to use it to pay for. Let me read that again. Your understanding that you were getting into more debt than you could handle was covered by a bigger fear, which was whatever you believed you had to use it to pay for, instead of getting real with yourself about the fact that you couldn't afford your lifestyle. I'm just going to let you decipher that one because there's a disconnect there in my brain with that sentence. Your realization that you were in the wrong relationship was completely ignored because you were terrified of what the future might hold and desperate to know that maybe, just maybe, this certain person could be beside you while you figured it all out. If you want to spend your life worrying that you're making mistakes, don't bother. Deep down, you already know. This is brutal. This is brutal. You already know that the job you're at isn't for you forever. You already know that you need to clean up your game and get your act together. You already know what the issues in your relationship are, and you already know whether or not you're willing to work through them. You already know what you need to do and what you don't. You know it even if you want to pretend you do not know it. And the longer you do that, the more lost you're going to be. Your big mistakes in life never occurred because you were blind to their consequences. They occurred because you deluded yourself into thinking it was the right thing to do when you knew it wasn't. Getting honest with yourself is the best form of self-protection there is. Give that to yourself and go forward with faith, with knowing that you can trust yourself, because you are no longer going to lie to yourself, even if the truth is inconvenient. So that's it for that one. The next one is you will start feeling like enough when you decide what is enough for you. So we'll leave that there. This, again, sometimes when I use multiple decks, the reading can feel kind of all over the place, and it's kind of getting dark here. It's only 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Why is it so dark? But for some reason, like I said, when I was reading that, I wonder what card I was seeing. I feel like it was, is there a table of contents? Look, I'm learning my lessons. Yes, there is. I'm just trying to see if anything stands out to me, why I was getting that download. Is it lizard brain? Maybe it's lizard brain? I'm pretty sure it's lizard brain. Yes, it is. Listen. The lizard brain will drown you in fear of potential failure and tell you to stay in the job or relationship that make you miserable because there's a strange safety in the familiarity of what you know. Hey, at least you know it's horrible, so that's safe, right? Wrong. This is just some of the garbage logic of lizard brain, the master of self-sabotage. I'm just going to read this card. I won't get a card from this deck. This will be how we end the reading. Lizard brain. The message of this card comes through when you're about to level up and have an amazing breakthrough, but you must be made aware that your lizard brain may attempt self-sabotage. The eye opening in this image is likened to a seed ripping open to become self-realized. The reptile head on the bottom of the card represents our unconscious reptilian brain, the limbic system. This part of our brain represents fear, flight, fight, addictions, and other emotional behaviors. And this part of your brain, this limbic system, I don't know enough about it to speak about it confidently. But I've been doing a lot of listening to videos about attachment style, and this person I listen to talks about the limbic system. This part of our brain represents fear, flight, fight, addictions, and other emotional behaviors. It hates change and thinks it can keep you safe by pulling you back from taking important risks that can lead to great success. The lizard brain will drown you in fear of future potential failure, and tell you to stay in the job or relationship that make you miserable because there's a strange safety in the familiarity of what you know. Hey, at least you know it's horrible, so that's safe, right? Wrong. This is just some of the garbage logic of the lizard brain, the master of self-sabotage. This card is about surpassing the prehistoric programming of our beliefs and behaviors to evolve into who we know we can be. The art of your breakthrough is the determined effort to constantly question your perception. Take a moment to analyze a current obstacle or moment of resistance you are dealing with. This obstacle is a golden nugget moment to challenge your perception. Imagine the story in your mind's eye. Even being aware that you just got hijacked by lizard brain doesn't necessarily dispel all of the worry running through your body. Interesting. At this moment, you may have to move forward while still feeling fear and not believing fully in yourself. But the action of going forward is what will lead you to this critical breakthrough. So anyway, I was thinking of that card during our reading, so I wanted to read it to you. Anyway, it's very dark here, so I'm going to go. And I've already, gushed and loved all over you in the beginning of this reading. But yes, thank you again for being here for another Soul Tribe reading, and I will see you guys again soon. I don't want to promise tomorrow, but definitely this weekend I will do another one. And it's always a pleasure spending time with my Soul Tribe. So thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend because it is Friday. If you are someone who, has a weekend, like some people work on the weekend, so the weekend doesn't feel like a weekend to them, Anyway, have a wonderful weekend. Eat some yummy food. Tell me what you're eating. And I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Bye.